So we will talk about project management fundamentals and related stuff today. It is our week 2 for applied project management simulation course. Let's talk about what is project initiation. We know that this is our first phase for the project. We also call it start. Okay. So in project management process, we see how project management process looks like. Let's see high level of detail. You can see here is that we have these spaces. We read it already everywhere, like initiation, planning, execution, and monitoring controlling is there, and end. It is called plan, start, plan, do, check, and act, and then finish the project. It is called ending the project. If we go into detail, there are some processes that we are going to follow. It's like this. Initiating, then planning, then execution, then monitoring and control, and again planning, execution. So planning, execution, monitoring and control always stay together. Because if there is a change, you have to plan again. I'm not saying that you will plan everything, but we need to plan all the phases, all the steps every time. And monitoring control will be there all the time. So as a project manager, we have to be on top of everything. In all the phases, we have to make sure all the relevant stakeholders are being involved. If somebody is involved in a bad decision, then it is not your fault that you failed, right? If there is a bad decision after a meeting, so everybody is equally responsible for that. If you are a project manager, you can say that I know it's a bad decision for a company, but it was a decision of my CEO after that meeting that we have to do that. It was bad decision, but can we do something for now? But if you take decisions without talking to all the relevant stakeholders, everybody will say that I knew that it can happen. Since you're not talking to me, I could have suggested you something great, but blah blah blah. So these things will always happen. We need to make sure we understand power of stakeholder communication, and we need to understand how to communicate things properly. So if we talk about initiating group, in what is initiating process group? The process in the initiating process group formally starts a new project or project phase. You need to decide whether we are going to start a project or not. If yes, then let's hire a project manager. If you don't have a project manager, we hire a project manager before or in the initiation phase. So initiating process group involves identifying and analyzing stakeholders to align their expectations about the project. All right. It provides a guiding vision for the project in terms of the organization strategy, the objective, and that project that need to be achieved. So project will achieve something that should be aligned with the company's objective. The project scope is officially authorized through project initiating. It means we can create some documents. The documents will be discussed later. Today, the document we will call it project charter kind of document, right? And that document will help everybody to understand that yes, this is the project and these are the things we are going to do. We ask a question, what do you think you would need to know or have before you initiate the project? Yeah. Can we have some answers? We need to think of answers of that. And the most important part is whenever we speak about that, make sure we type it so that our thought is well defined. Okay. So since I have asked, what do you think you would need to know or have before you initiate the project? Maybe we can type something, write somewhere, and then speak before we move to the next slide. So we have around, let's spend around 2, 3 minutes and write down our points. And then when we go to the next slide, we'll see how much it is matching with the next slide. All right, let's spend 2 minutes thinking and writing our answer. You may write more than one point also. There's no problem with that. Let's spend 1 more minute. Okay, so we can review answers. Let's see if answers are matching with the next slide. Yeah, so before starting the project or initiate the project, we need to know the business case, whether we are going to start it or not. Business case will tell you, right? And if we check our answers, we may have this answer like the product description or project statement of work at what we are going to develop, what this project supposed to do, right? Like objective, how the project fits into or support the company's strategic plan, list of likely stakeholders, okay, and any constraints. Hmm. Constraints like schedule, budget, or resources. If we have a a rocket kind of project where we are going to the Mars, then scope will be the constraint. Like we cannot reduce the scope. If we are going to the moon using Chandrayaan kind of things, and to save cost, can we plan for halfway travel and come back? Answer is no. Because in that case, constraint is the scope. We have to go to the moon, right? And any relevant agreements, including contracts, if, if the work will be done under a contract, we have to check all those things because companies have lots of different structures. You need to ensure that what kind of contracts or agreement they already have with with the with that department or kind of work. What else? Maybe this standard, marketing trend, companies change control system, define process and procedures for how the company operates. All the companies have their own way of work, right? Like past relationship with the sponsors of the project, likely stakeholders and possible team members. And you need to get some templates from past projects. Templates means a format of file or any form so that you don't start everything from scratch. Historical WBS means work breakdown structure and historical estimates. What else? You might need lesson learned report. What is going on in the company today, the major projects, and the potential impact, right? Understanding the company's future and culture. And you need to find out a list of good people who can be good team members for you. Okay, next activity is this. What are the specific actions required to complete project initiating? Again, let's take 2 minutes pause, organize our thoughts, and write our answers. Write in a paper or a mobile phone or somewhere and read it before posting anywhere. Again, 2 minutes for writing our pointers. Okay, since we have written things about what are the specific actions required to complete project initiation, let's see if our answers are matching with this. So we need to select a project manager. Sometimes we already have project manager before initiation, but as per the definition, we should have a project manager. Okay. And determine the authority of the project manager. What is the scope of work for the project manager? How much money that person can get, how many people that person can get. And we need to collect historical information, divide large project into phases, identify stakeholders and determine their influence, expectation, and impact. Determine high level stakeholder needs, wants, and expectations into requirement. So this is very important thing because your uh, stakeholders will talk to you in different ways. They don't know what they want actually, and they cannot convert those wants into technical requirements. This is your job that you need to turn high level needs, wants, and expectations into the technical requirements. Make sure the business and analysis team supporting the need of the project. And we need to ensure that project scope is as final as practical. Few more pointers like understand how the project supports the organization's strategic objective, determine measurable project and product objectives, facilitate the resolution of conflict objectives, and so on. Can we check our answers and see if our answers are matching with some of them? It may not match exactly, but if it is in the same direction, then it is also good. Okay. We need to have, we need to do some high level planning. Okay. And again, high level estimate should have some high level estimate for schedule and budget. We may call it ballpark figure, like yes, around 3 years and $1 million, right? And then after that analysis, we need to see if our project can be completed within given constraints. Few more points like coordinating project initiating efforts with the stakeholders, including customers. Sometimes customers and consumers are different. Customers are somebody, customers are paying you money, consumers are using your product. For Tim Horton, customers and consumers are the same thing. But for a software like Microsoft Teams or learning management system like Brightspace, D2L, Moodle, or Canvas, these things are different. Here, customer is college and consumer is student and faculty. Right? Then work with customers and others to determine high level acceptable criteria and clarify what is not in the project scope and what should be included in the project scope. And determine the initial project organization, how project team may look like, and then identify milestones and all, finalize project charter, and get approval on the project charter. Project charter must be approved. Initiating means select project manager who will do that. Sometimes you will select yourself because you were involved in the beginning. You are involved in the business case and determine company culture and existing systems, collect processes, procedures, and historical information, divide large project into phases, understand the business case, uncover initial requirements and risks, create measurable objective, and develop project charter. Then you need to identify stakeholders and develop stakeholder management strategy. So, what is going to happen in the project? So, in your project, it is a progressive elaboration. What does that mean? Like when we start a project, we think that it can be finished in 10 years and budget will be $500 million. But after some time, you realize that we need to add few more elements. So now the project time estimate will be 11 years and budget will be $600 million. And everybody is accepting it and they think that it will add more value to the project. Right? But yes, we have to do it into. So we understand progressive elaboration. It means it's we monitor, we control all the changes, but if it is required, we accept it and we add it because it is going to add value to the company or the process. Now, if we talk about who are you, means as a project manager. So, project manager is assigned early in the process. Project manager is involved in the process initiating also. Okay. Is this true in your real world? Think. It could be yes, but sometimes no, based on situation in different companies. Sometimes we decide, sometimes we decide to plan something and we decided, fine, let's have a musical concert somewhere. And then we can hire a, the event management company. And event management company will give you a project manager who will be talking to you. They call it account manager and they have different names. Fine. Now, high level planning is done during project initiation. You know that. What is high level planning? High level planning means now we are initiating a project. We should think strategically what are the things we are going to include. It may include creating a high level WBS. You know, WBS is work breakdown structure. Performing order of magnitude estimating and doing high level risk identification. High level risk identification sample would be, uh, we can say that due to global shortage of chip, we can't get lots of electronic equipment. Another definition of high level risk. Okay, this is September month, and in that city, there's lots of rain. We have seen in last 3 years. Probability of raining is high, so your singing concert may not be that impactful if you will use outdoor. Can we use indoor? That's called high level risk identification. And it helps you determine the success of the project before the organization commits money and resource to it. In the initiation phase, high level estimation may not be exactly accurate, but it will give us some idea and we can assume or understand whether the project is going to be successful or not. So high level planning that we discussed, it is it's a great kind of creating project charter. Now we will ask why we initiate the project. There could be some business needs, or we can begin a new phase of the project, or our existing project or product or services have so many problems that you re-evaluate the business need. For instance, we are working for Microsoft and we are working for we are working at Microsoft, and specifically it is MS Teams, Microsoft Teams uh, development team. And we have seen that MS Teams have lots of bugs and problems that we need to re-evaluate the business need. Teams cannot have more than one organization's account. Multiple login is not allowed. They must work on that. So we need to initiate something. You can say that if I have one college account, one is my office account, can we have both accounts in my Microsoft Teams? Current answer is no. They have two type of team software. One is for personal use, second is for office use. They might be thinking of something, but nothing is coming outside till now. Now, let's understand what is business case. Business case captures the business need. It explains why, why the project was selected, how it fits into the organization's strategic goal, and how it will bring business value to the organization. Means, I'll give you one example. Suppose you're working for a college. Your college, after graduating, he got selected as a project manager. Now, college director said that, hello everybody, only you are alone, project as a project manager. Then your college director call you and ask, we are going to have another campus in Alberta, and we already have everything set up, but we have 200 classrooms and maybe 50 classrooms, and I want you to assemble projectors to display screen in the class? Can you find out all the sources from where you can get equipment and import equipment directly from China and assemble it here? Now you need to work on business case. You need to create business case first for that project, because for 50 or 100 projectors, you have to understand what is the effort you are going to make and what is your achievement there. If you create a business case in this scenario, I believe you will come across with a suggestion that Mr. Director or Miss Director, see, I have noticed that you said that we will have 50 classrooms and we need to assemble the projector. You want assemble? Now I have a question. Why you want only assemble? Then your director will say that I think it will save money. How much money you want to save? Like, I don't know. I just want to save money. Then in the business case, you will understand there's no exact motivation to assemble it. But assembling may require lots of effort because your time will be involved. And if you are involved, it means you should charge for your time. Obviously, you're working for a company. And after that, you will create a business case. And after that, you will say that, okay, I think assembling of projectors is not a good idea because we have to spend a lot of time, effort, energy. Instead of that, if we buy it bulk and just put it, that will be a cheaper option for us and better option in time saving. In that case, you can create something like this business case. This is the project, background, problem, project details, project team, cost estimate, benefit, right? But in this case, our business case will say that uh, cost is too much and benefit is too low. So we are not going to start this project of assembling. We are going to buy it. So you have taken a decision not to start a project, and your company is going to be happy because you saved a lot of time and effort. So, right? Now, project selection. There are various ways to select which project to initiate from among many possible choices. So mostly project managers not involved in that. Sometimes it is yes, but mostly no. But project managers should be familiar with the project selection terms and concepts to plan and manage the project. Let's take 5 minutes break and then we'll continue this. Okay, so two categories of project selection method could be like this: benefit measured method, which is comparative. Second is constraint optimized method, like mathematical approach. Murderboard, a panel of people who try to shoot down a new project idea. Peer review, scoring models, and economic model. Constraint optimization methods are linear programming, integer programming, dynamic programming, and multi-objective programming. If we talk about economic models for project selection, it will call like present value, net present value, internal rate of return, payback period, and cost benefit analysis. What is that? Present value, we can understand something like this. Like expense and return. Like expense, if I spend $1,000 in a project, hmm, and return is 300 per year. Year one, year two. No, suppose we have, and this will work for 4 years. And 4 years, and we get return of 300 every year. Okay, 300 in every year. Just this is just for our simple understanding. If we add it 300 every year, we 1,200 after 4 years. This will be our return of the investment. So this is one simple method to find out value of your investment as present value. It is not financially correct. I'm just giving you some idea that you spent 1,000, you got 1,200 in 4 years. And any other project, for example, another project where you spend 500 and after 4 years you get 510. Okay. In that case, if you compare these both projects, you'll see that percentage return is good in our first project, not the second one. Okay. So this is the formula for the present value. In present value, PV is present value, FV is future value, 1 by n divided by 1 plus R power by n. R is interest rate, n is number of time created. Net present value, it is the present value of the total benefits minus the cost over many time period. IRR, the higher number, it is better. This is in financial terms where you calculate how much percentage return you are getting every year. Payback period, how much time it will give, and it will take the project to give the money back. Cost benefit analysis means, are we spending more money to get limited benefit, and so on. We need to work on some project constraints as well. Constraints are few things that have some limitations like budget, time, resource, and scope. And we have to take some assumptions. Assumptions are the things that are assumed to be true, but that may not be true. It could be assumptions. They are identified during project initiation and are then refined and documented in the project plan. Next, we are going to talk about statement of work. What's that? It is basically a statement where we see what is the work we are going to do. Okay, and who creates that? Various people based on their job profile and requirement, but vendor, sponsor, or customer, anybody can create a statement of work. For example, if you are cloud service provider like Google Drive or something related, and you are building a cloud storage solutions for a client, then you have to create an statement SOW for the project. At what stage it is created? It is only created usually when your client accepts that. But yes, I like your idea. Can you just give me more details like statement of work, that what are the things you're going to cover in this project, right? What is the purpose? Purpose is it will give us clarity that what are the things we are going to do in this project. Okay. So what did we cover? It should have all the things in scope that what are we going to do. SAW should contain these pointers. Scope. Scope means what are the things we are going to do. Assumptions, we will assume lots of things because nobody knows what will happen in the future, but we assume that in this scenario, we are writing it. Technology, platform or architecture, roles and responsibility of the client and the vendor. What kind of project methodology you're going to use, the draft of project items, project time schedule with milestone, dependencies and risks, acceptance criteria, because without acceptance criteria, you cannot get the payment, and change management process. Next is project charter. So project charter involves planning the project at a high level to assess whether it is feasible within the given constraint, but detailed planning does not happen until the charter is signed. It is high level. Again, it's high level project plan kind of thing. Okay. Detailed plan take time, cost. So we need to make sure that our clients are in the same page. And who creates it? Project charter is created by project team, the project manager. At what stage? It should be in planning phase. What is the purpose? Purpose is to make sure that everybody is aware of the project. And what should we cover? It should cover these pointers. Title of the project and description, name of the project manager and authority level, business case, resource, stakeholders, and product description or deliverable, assumptions and constraints, measurable project objectives should be measurable in numbers or milestone based, and project approval requirement, how to get the approval done, and high level project risks. Project sponsor, authorizing the project. Who is going to authorize the budget? So whenever we are going to create it, we should have project overview, stakeholder scope, schedule, budget, including estimates, assumptions, responsibility of client vendor, project method or phase, risk, change management process, how we are going to manage changes, and communication during the project. What is the benefit if you create a project charter? Benefit, like project charter clarifies and defines the project objective. It aligns the project's objectives with organization's objective. Charter serve as the project's marketing tool when buy-in or approval needed from the stakeholders. The project charter officially authorized project managers to begin initiating and executing the project. It helped to prevent scope creep. What is scope creep? What do you think? What is scope creep? Take a minute. Please write down what is scope creep. Scope creep is something like which is not there in the scope in the beginning, but your client added one more thing. Can you do this? Can you do that? It is called scope creep. The charter serves as contract of sorts among executives, stakeholders, and the project sponsor, and ensure everyone is on the same page. You know that this is the project, this is the expectation. Everybody is aware of that now. Okay. The charter provides continuity, in the event of mid-project personal change. So what is going to happen if you get another job as a project manager and then you leave? That's a challenging task. But since we have project charter, we are good because new person can read the project charter and understand, okay, fine, this is the project I understand. Right. So that's all for this session. And you will have few more supporting videos for the chapter. And we have a case study to solve that will be posted in your uh, announcement and in this weekly folder. So this is the case study. You need to go through that. This is your sample project charter. Make sure you click there and read the case study and give your answers.